We're going to have a standard board meeting. And we will let everybody come up and view the items up here. We're going to have some opening of some special items that have not been unveiled yet, so thank you all for coming. So let us go through the formalities of our school board meeting, and then we will get started. So thank you for coming this evening. So I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I will do roll call. Jeff Cummins here, Josh Clifton, Samantha Cribbett, Brandon Lindsay, Melanie Schaus. If everyone would rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, flag is to your right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Most of the times I have school students leading me in that, I just follow along and act like I'm reading. I got to remember that from my school days. I'm guessing we don't have any discussion items this evening other than this. Anybody have anything else to discuss this evening? Seeing none. Do we have any public participation other than what we're going to do next? About anything else other than our history? Any public participation? Fantastic. Seeing none. We will move into major items of business. Our first major item of business, and only major item of business this evening, is to further examine the old high school time capsule items. So, if you all didn't see the video, you weren't there. Our historic Harmony Hill group came up and helped us open this interesting copper box. This copper box was inside of a concrete sealed block. And on top, they had cemented kind of a cap on top of it. So we had to get the concrete box open first. We didn't know what was going to be in the box. It was in a cornerstone of the old high school. And this was nestled down inside of it, and it's copper, and it was soldered shut. This hole you see here was by our general contractor. The general contractor actually put a camera in the concrete to make sure there was actually something in there. So no, this isn't a bullet hole or anything of that nature. It is actually just a hole we drilled in to make sure there was something there. Then we carefully cut the solder around the top of this box, and it is stamped 1923. The things you see on top of this is the concrete mix. So the concrete mix, when it was poured, was wet. It got on top of this box and solidified on this box like concrete does. And it was date stamped 1923. And very interestingly, nothing got inside of it. So 103 years, the ingenuity back there was watertight. Everything you see sitting here today is at least 103 years old. Some of this stuff is up to probably 170 years old because some of the dates on it. So with that being said, please be mindful, do not touch. Okay, for those of us that will be touching very sparingly, we'll be touching with our hands, with our white gloves on. And what we're going to do once this ceremony is over, we are going to have preservationists come in with help from Harmony Hill and the Historic Society to preserve all of this the appropriate way. None of us up here are preservationists. None of us know how to do it, and we're going to have professionals because it's that important to our community. So, with that being said, the first person I want to have up is kind of special. I see Evelyn Stratton here this evening. So, Evelyn, if you come on up. So, Evelyn, there are a number of envelopes up here to my left. Evelyn, if you would come behind the table with these young ladies. Julia, if you want to come up and assist her in opening these, and Josh will assist as well. Some of these are from her grandfather. So the Deal family, they left envelopes, and they're sealed, and we have no idea what's inside of it. So Evelyn will be the first one to see them. They are in her lineage, so this is going to be an exciting moment. And again, if everybody wants to come a little closer, if you want to stand up, you can. I don't have a problem with that. Just don't block others. So if you guys want to come up and kind of get a little closer, there's not a lot of people here. You're welcome to. Oh, never mind. Brandon just told me have a seat. Don't block the camera. Brandon just spoiled my moment there. So. This first letter is from Roy G. Deal, and that is her grandfather. Don't worry about the envelope so much as the items inside. Mr. Clifton is going to assist in cutting the top because the glue is very good from 103 years ago. It has stuck well. So. Mr. Early just told me he was Evelyn's 13th principal when she was here. So she was, Evelyn, how many years were you with us? He was your last one? Yeah. How many years were you with Williamsburg Schools? 37 years. All right, it is open. It's open up. You can tell us what's inside of it. $1846 1-cent coin stands to stamp the United States of America currency. I don't believe we have another one like that. That's the oldest coin.
1862.
That's the oldest coin we have so far, from 1846. Yeah, just set it on the table and leave it out. Yeah. Yeah. Evelyn just told us that Roy was on the school board back then as well. So this envelope is from Hartman R. Deal, which was her uncle. Josh will probably need to cut this one the same way, I'm guessing. Oh, maybe not. You're fine. So the envelope is open. But it's easier to see on white. $1852, another 1-cent coin, stamped United States of America. Another 1-cent coin from 1852. I think is that it? Is that the deals? All right. All right. Well, Evelyn, if you would hold those two things up and get your picture with it, we greatly appreciate it. Josh, will you assist her with that? Yeah. As I was talking to my daughter, who's 22 years old, I asked her, I said, what do you think 1 cent was worth in 1846? I think it was probably worth a significant amount of money, right? Because in 1923, the stamp was 2 cents, right? So I'm guessing in 1846, 1 cent was a significant amount of money. Little do we know what $1 would be worth 100 years from today. Evelyn, I thank you. Thank you for coming up and joining us. We will preserve those, and it's nice to see a message from your past as well. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. So Daniel Bingham is with us this evening. I think some of the Masonic Lodge. So we have a number of things down this end that Brandon Lindsay and Mr. Early are going to assist with. We got one of them that was wrapped up, and Matt actually cut the bindings from it this week based on what the preservation said, to let the item breathe and let it open up on its own rather than forcefully opening up and let moisture get into it. So Daniel is going to open some things, and Daniel actually has the original ledger from 1923. So when you come up to take a look, Daniel will be able to point out to you where they actually made the note in the minutes of when they placed the items in the box. So we have the writing from 103 years ago telling about the items being placed in the box in a special ceremony. So, Daniel, go ahead and take a look at some things.
Okay, this says that this is Masonic roster from 1923, which I see over here also. And then the poster of the ceremony, which is down there. So it looks like maybe some duplicate stuff. There's also a letter to the Masons of 100 years hence. A copy of the program of the day's ceremonies. Souvenir. The centennial souvenir of Claremont Social. Claremont Social was founded in 1815, in June of 1815. So the cornerstone ceremony would have only been 8 years after our centennial celebration. And we just had our bicentennial 8 years ago. A letter from the Grand Master of Ohio to Claremont Social number 29, which was Most Worshipful Brother Harry S. Johnson. He was from Cincinnati, so that's probably one of the reasons why we were able to have a cornerstone ceremony back in those days. Basically, if you didn't live close to the Grand Master, you didn't get a ceremony. And it also has a list of all the brothers who were selected to fill the positions for the ceremony. A cornerstone ceremony takes a lot of people. So when the Grand Lodge comes, there's not enough. It looks like it stops here a little bit. See that? It looks like the envelopes stuck to the paper. But yeah. So we actually have some really good copies of this at the lodge that are not rolled up like this. But this is the centennial souvenir from the lodge. We actually have really good copies of this still down at the lodge. So maybe we can get you a good copy that's not rolled up, and you can lay it side by side so people can see it a little better. Yeah. And this is, it looks like this is a direct copy. Something else in there too. This is another copy of the flyer. It's in really good shape, other than folded up. This looks like, so in Masonic history, we would send out summonses for people to attend certain meetings. And this looks like the summons from the committee for the cornerstone laying. It's dated June 7th, 1923. Dear sir and brother, you are cordially invited to attend the cornerstone laying of the Williamsburg Township Public School Building on Saturday, June the 16th, 1923 at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, we're in the Eastern. The Most Virtual Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons will duly open in a special immersion communication on June the 16th at 1 o'clock in the Hall of Claremont Social Lodge, number 29, Free and Accepted Masons for this purpose. Most Virtual Brother Grand Master Harry S. Johnson and staff of officers will preside. It is important that our members and all the Master Masons be in the line of march. We must show our courtesy to the Most Virtual Grand Master and this memorable occasion by our presence. Fraternally, H.B. Holden, Chairman, L.W. White, J.D. Cover, C.H. McNutt, and Harry Britton, Committee.
Today, that'd be a text an hour before.
Yes.
A letter 2.5 weeks.
Or a one call.
Yeah.
We texted out for tonight and a one call. This looks like it is just a note. Maybe this is the 100-year note. Brother of the century, greetings. We Masons who on the morrow will deposit this along with other memento in the cornerstone of our new hall of learning, speak to you from the past, trusting that concern which unites us, that cement which unites us into one sacred band or society of friends and brothers, among whom no contention should ever exist, but rather that noble contention of who best can work and best agree, shall have been well and duly spread through all the passing years. Fraternally yours, Claremont Social Lodge, number 29, by Guy E. Holmes, Secretary. So that's the letter to the Masons. This is what's stuck. Oh yeah, that's cool. It looks like this is written on the school district heading, letterhead. Program, laying the cornerstone of Williamsburg Public School Building, invocation by the Grand Chaplain N.T. Daly, vocal solo by Mrs. Louisa McNutt Davis, How Lovely Are Thy Dwellings, presentation of the trowel by G.E. Swartz, contractor, Bedford, Indiana. To Most Worshipful Grand Master Harry S. Johnson, Cincinnati, Ohio. Charles E. Dudley, President of the Board of Education, requesting that Most Worshipful Grand Master to commence the ceremonies of laying the cornerstone. The cornerstone was laid from ceremonies in the Masonic Code for the state of Ohio. The Grand Master and his staff of officers presided. Music by the Williamsburg Cornet Band. Quartet composed of Dr. J.P. Allen, N.B. Briggs, Arthur Ruffner, and Reverend Kilman. Was he Presbyterian?
Reverend Kilmar.
Well, it's, that came out. Yeah. Committee from Claremont Social Lodge number 29 was Harry B. Holden, Chairman, Lawrence W. White, Harry Britton, Charles McNutt, John B. Cover, Professor John W. Smith, P. L. Melrod, and Guy Holmes. Can't hear Elrod's name without a little chuckle. That's an inside joke.
There's one guy.
Yeah. There's one. There's a couple guys that might get it. And then the program continues with an address by Professor E.A. Wilson, former superintendent of schools in Williamsburg, now superintendent of Avondale Schools in Cincinnati. Music by Johnny Red, Juanette, Juanita. It's hard to read. And then Celestine Chapter, over the Eastern Star, presented a floral piece. The flag drill was done by the school children under the direction of Women's Relief Leader. Junior OBAM took part in the ceremonies. Music, the Star Spangled Banner, was done by the Williamsburg Cornet Band, and the benediction, this is bad. The benediction is given by Reverend J.E. Kilman, who was the Methodist Episcopal minister. But like you said before, we have the minutes. We have to record everything that we do. But these minutes are the emergent minutes of the Grand Lodge of Ohio, written by the Secretary of Claremont Social. They will tell you every position that was filled by the members of the lodge to help the Grand Lodge, and it also lists all the Grand Lodge officers that were present. And it tells a little bit about what they did. There was the Masonic Lodge, at that time was located at the corner of South 2nd Street and Main Street. And they were on the 2nd floor. J.C. Fear's store was on the 1st floor. And that building was torn down sometime in the early 80s, I believe. It's where the major scene is every year. But also, there are several members. Our masters here tonight, Dan Head, our secretary, Steve Hanley, past master Bruce Harry, and my dad, God Nahum, and myself. So, but
Thank you.
thank you guys.
If the Masons would like to come out and get a picture, we would like to get a picture with all of you as well. So hold some things up. Yeah.
There is a pocket watch which you'll get to see here in a minute. That was built by William Demusian, who was a member of Claremont Social. And I brought one small artifact that he made for the lodge. It's about 9 years younger than this stuff, but it's still made by the same guy. And it's pretty cool. It's a kind of a weird thing, but I'll show anybody that's interested.
Bring it on up. Okay, Jim, come behind here and then maybe kind of hold up some of the stuff and let Amy get your picture. Slide over to the left, gentlemen. Slide over to the left, she's asking. Keep sliding, keep sliding. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
I'd like to add one thing to Dale. We usually don't, this is something a lot of people don't know, but our lodge is one of the oldest lodges in the state of Ohio, and we're number 29. The lower the number, of course, the older your lodge. We have years ago, I don't know what year it was, lodges got together in Ohio, and at that time, President George Washington showed up. And we wear aprons, you may see us, we wear white aprons, and back then they were actually made out of lambskin. So because we were one of the oldest lodges that showed up that day, they cut it in 3 sections. So we got a section of that lambskin apron that President Washington wore hanging down our lodge. That's full history into this. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, so we have some other things to open up here. Thank you, members. We appreciate that. It's always exciting to see notes from the past, and I can't wait to read that again to see kind of what that message was from 103 years ago. Julie Hess, if you come back up here, we have a deposit made by the Williamsburg Band, right? So I think that the appropriate person to open that, and come behind the table, would be Julie Hess. She was my band teacher. I don't know how many other people have Julie, but I did. And we would love for you to take your time and open that one there. Matt, you're on deck. Superintendent. Oh, look at that. It's already open. I like it. That blue didn't have it. Read the piece of paper to the left of it. See if it looks familiar to you.
There's a picture of Williamsburg's band, and the title next to the picture says Southern Ohio's best non-professional band, music furnished for any occasion at a reasonable price. The director was C.A. Frazier, and the business manager, P.E. Elrod. Williamsburg's 12-piece band assisted in the program in connection with the laying of the cornerstone of Williamsburg Township High School building. The membership at this date being as follows: C.A. Frazier, cornet and director; E. Elton Elrod, cornet, solo, and business manager; Nelson Hancock, cornet, solo; Carl Hoffman, first B-flat cornet; Don Hoffman, first alto cornet; S.N. McMillan, second alto, and he was not on the above picture; S.H. Frazier, first trombone; Everett Dugan, second trombone; J.P. Allen, baritone, and he was not in the above picture; M.D. Griggs, bass; George Barnes, drum and cymbals; and Harry Bechtold, snare drum and bells. The band marched a procession of Masons and citizens from the Masonic Lodge room at 2nd and Main Streets to the school building location and furnished such selections in the program as called for in the Masonic ceremonies. And the director signed it at C.A. Frazier and the business manager P. Elton Elrod. It's just one page. That's it.
Very interesting to see that. They have the bass drum out in front, the snare drum, and they're wearing white pants. Not wearing white pants. That's very interesting. Thank you, Joey. And we will have this displayed up here for you to see. I think we just got a message from the past on how we should lay our cornerstone. I think they told us how we're supposed to do it right there. I think that was a little message there. So, Masons, we might want to get a band together and make that same march in the future here. So, I appreciate that message. I was thinking, we were thinking about how we're going to do our cornerstone here, not in the very near future. And how we're going to lay that. Brandon and Matt were looking at the Indian limestone company today. Funny that it said Bedford, Indiana on it. So we're going to look to find a cornerstone for something very similar. So might be doing the same thing. Thank you, Joe. So you want to assist Matt in opening this up? So we're going to open up a looks like an envelope. Matt, you're going to take the control seat? Yeah. Oh, really? That's very neat. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see George Barnes. Yeah, drum and cymbals. Yeah. All right. That's neat. Well, you're going to figure out which one it is in this picture, okay? So we'll hold you to that. So next we're going to open up some items from the school. And Julie and Matt will take care of that. And Josh is going to slowly cut them open.
So this is the record of services of Byron Williams in the schools of Williamsburg, Ohio, a program with the first commencement April 21st of 1886. I don't know what they called graduation/commitment before 1886. But this is a program of the annual commencement. Wednesday Eve, April 21st, 1886. And the program, which had essays, there were 10 graduates in the class of 1886. The superintendent was Byron Williams, whose family donated this. It lists the Board of Education, and there's a Latin saying on the back. Rec me labor este gratuit. The last names of the graduates: Britton, Chatterton, Doherty, Davidson, Williams, Junkin, McAdams, Thomas, Gordon, and another Williams. And then this letter, which was from, this is Byron Williams, who was the superintendent in 1886. They must have addressed him as professor, because Professor Byron Williams was a resident of Williamsburg, Ohio for over 53 years. He accepted the charge of the Union schools for 1865, 66, and 67, was superintendent of schools in 1878, 79, 80, and 81. In 1884, he was appointed the county examiner and served for 9 years with a judge, I can't read the name, appointing James and Dr. Frank Dyer to serve with him. In 1885, again had charge of schools for 2 years. All these years, the vision of the high school was with him, and on April 21st, 1886, the first class of 10 members was graduated. So that must have been a difference between just a union school and then actually calling it elementary, middle, and high. He had a vision of a high school, would be my assumption. He introduced the graduation from the common schools, giving a year to work, and on June 4th of 1892, he gave diplomas to 174 pupils, crowning with success his years of service. So we think today we give about 85 to 90 a year. In all of his years as superintendent, he gave diplomas to 174 kids, which that makes sense. There's only 10 in this class. As examiner, he helped, encouraged, and cheered hundreds of teachers, many of whom serve and honor and love the memory of his loyal, beautiful spirit. Placed in this memorial by his daughter, Ella Williams, June 16, 1923.
And that's as clear as it gets, that picture, so put that picture out there.
That's very clear. It really gives a great history of how schools were in that era. I mean, you think he was a school administrator when Abe Lincoln was president.
So Harmony Hill Historical Society, I think we might have found a picture that might need to go on our wall. First superintendent, sorry Matt, you got trumped.
What's new? Placed by Bertha Chatterton, class of 1894, is the largest class to that time ever graduated from the old Williamsburg High. Williamsburg High School announces its 26th annual commencement exercises Thursday evening, May 27, 1915, at the M.E. Church, Methodist Episcopalian, Williamsburg, Ohio. And that, they actually wrote the motto in English, not Latin, out of school life into life's school. So it holds true today. The colors were cream and crimson, Alabama famous, and class flowers were cream and crimson roses. Last names: Meyer, Chatterton, Curry, Sprague, Rack, Kane, Hill, Britton, Elston, Swope, Waite, McKibben, Curry, Foster, Runyon, Nichols, another Foster, and Ogden. That's still open. That's class of 1919. And this old envelope is Lewis Williams, assistant principal for 1922 and 23. So they must have helped place this as well. And Josh. J.W. Smith would have been the superintendent, I believe, in 1923, correct, Julia? I believe he was. And so he put some items into an envelope. This is from, I'm going to preface it with the end. This is a letter from a Violet Ellis, age 9, 6th grade, June 16, 1923, titled, When Our Schoolhouse Burnt. It was on Monday morning. The clock was striking 4. The fire bell rang on a night so clear, but the schoolhouse was on fire. But now our hearts are sad for nothing more we see of the many years that the old school stand by the park and many tower by the park and many trees. I bowed my head down low as the walls were falling in, for nevermore will those old walls spring back in their place again. Violet Ellis, age 9.
Wow. If that doesn't make me goosebumps, I don't know what does.
Eyewitness to the burning of the school. Mary Madeline Smith, daughter of Mrs. J.W. Smith, superintendent of schools. Picture of a very young girl, probably 3 or 4.
Superintendent J.W. Smith, principal of Waynesburg High School, 1911 to 1915, superintendent from 1919 to 1924. At the time of this sketch, drew the pencil sketch of the new building in which this is placed. Aged 34 years in 1923, he was a veteran of the World War, overseas member of the Masonic Order number 29 of Waynesburg, Ohio, degrees A.M., A.B., P. Pen. So this is a hand sketch.
This is volume 1, number 1 of the tablet, the school paper. September 5th, 1921. So a couple years before this. So the very first, it has a roster of the teachers. Then there was a Louise Deal, 4th grade teacher. You know who that was? Louise Deal. Your aunt? Is that Hartman's wife? No, another aunt. So we'll set this out by the other papers. It also gives a course of study of the school.
Was that a Ford dealership in town at one time?
Yes.
It's in here. There's an ad in here for the Ford dealership.
English, Latin, algebra, history, occupations, physiology, botany, medieval history, European history, French. A lot of courses that are still here today. Let's see what else is. I believe that might be it. And then the other ones we got to work on some more. Oh, this is the last item. This is order of exercises for examination. To my knowledge, this is the oldest piece of paper that we've held out of this. April 11th, 12th, and 13th, 1853. April 1853. Order of exercise for examination. I'm going to set it down because that's fragile. Let's see if we can. Where's that number? Where's Julie's little label? You got it? I don't keep it. So we'll leave this out too. This is just a general program form. Different people singing and reading. And looks like a graduation weekend possibly, prior to the graduations that started in 1886. Yeah, I'll just read this word for word, it won't take too long. Williamsburg, Ohio, June 16th, 1923, date of the laying of the cornerstone of this building. The building previously occupied was located at the right front corner of this building, on a line drawn from this corner to the corner of the park. It burned on February 20th, 1922. Bonds were issued in the amount of $130,000, September 1st, 1922. Wish we could get those prices today. Contract was let February 9th of 1923. Building was commenced in March. The President of the Board of Education, Charles Dudley. The Vice President was A.R. Brown. Also members of the board, Roy Deal, Malin Walker, George Maderi, J.W. Smith was the superintendent of schools and the superintendent of construction. The general contractor was Schwartz out of Bedford, Indiana. They were paid $98,385. Electrical was Kingston Electric out of Cincinnati, $3,350. Plumbing, Murdoch Plumbing out of Cincinnati, Ohio, $7,425 paid to them. The well was drilled by Williamsburg Oil and Gas for $565. And the heating system was put in by Stanton Heater, Cincinnati, $14,650. The seats were purchased from the West Virginia Seating Company for $2,400, and the rest of the furniture had not yet been purchased at the time of the laying of this stone. The architects were Samuel Hannaford and Sons, which Hannaford and Sons in Cincinnati, a lot of their work still exists, were the architects. This was written by the superintendent, J.W. Smith. So we'll have to remember to do this review. Outline the cost and costs. $130,000. That's all that I think we have open at this point.
There's another item here that's very fragile, so
Papers found in the former school building was placed here in 1859 by Dr. Sharp. His granddaughter put these in the cornerstone. So these are 1859 documents.
they're falling apart.
Yeah, I really want to do this over
They're falling apart.
the bucket. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Because we don't want to lose any of this.
If this starts to fall apart too much, we may have to stop and let somebody else do it.
That's fine. I actually don't see letters actually coming in. This is a Cincinnati Daily something. I'm not going to try to unfold it because it's written on there Tuesday, July 12th, 1859. It's an 1859 newspaper. So we're going to let that, we'll talk to the preservationists about that, but that's as far as I will go with this. Julia, can I have you come back up here? With that. Let's actually move down to this table down here.
So we were just told that $132,000 will be worth $2.5 million today. So that's kind of what they take then for the school that they built today. Or would have been built today.
To whom this may concern, these papers were in a metal box with with several other papers, and a small child's testament Bible, which we still have on my rack, it's down there, and a few coins. They were sealed in this box by Dr. Erastus Coates Sharp Jr. and placed by him in the corner of the former school building, July 22nd, 1859. So this was in an old cornerstone, an old box. Dr. Sharp was the son of Dr. Erastus Sharp Sr. and his wife Mary Lytle Sharp. And he was born June 6, 1830. His mother was the only daughter of John Lytle, who was the elder brother and of the noted General William Lytle. Dr. E.C. Sharp Jr. married Dr. Dorothea Weiss, something of that nature, and they had one child, Ella May, who married Miller Fillmore McNutt. What made the original presidential name, Miller Fillmore McNutt. And they had one child, Louise Catherine, who married Earl Hampton Davis. Mrs. Davis, on this day, July 16, 1923, places these old papers and a few others at the cornerstone of the new building so that they may be preserved and be of some interest, you think, to whom they may be recovered or something of that nature. So we're talking old Bible history here in 2026. This is awesome. It is the hope that the blessings of God be yours in the form of liberty, peace, and happiness in our town and beloved America and to all the world. Signed, Mrs. Louise McNutt Davis, 1925.
That's the Bible that I believe they were referring to, so I'm going to try to maybe be covered.
Good. This is awful. Sure enough, the Bible is full Bible. I am not going to peel that back until there's about, according to the envelope, there's an 1859 child Bible. United States of America, 1 cent, 1846.
1846,
With
1 cent.
1859 child's Bible and this letter.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Clifton's opened other things down here for us. This was written to us by Addie Holmes Frazier. Harry Burt Frazier, son of Charles Frazier, leader of Williamsburg. It's got a C-29 on the back of it, an actual photo, and a photo of a building in our town. A picture of John Cover Collier of the Farmers of Merchant Bank for 20 years. Picture of Catherine Bush, granddaughter of Chris Frazier. Picture of Bertha Frazier, daughter of C.A. Frazier, granddaughter of Elkbert Holmes. Here's a tribute on January of 1923 to Williamsburg and Claremont, and a long writing by Carrie W. Hartman. A lot of things that were for sale in it. A Ford touring car, 1918 model, no price. Oh. 5-passenger touring car in fine shape, price $200, 1920. There's a lot of things on here you can look at.
That was my grandmother's brother.
Oh, yes, really? Your grandmother's brother, no kidding. A lot of interesting things on here to tell you. Furniture plant damaged by fire in Williamsburg, loss estimated to be $30,000. Williamsburg, Ohio, August 2nd fire originating in the lumberyard of Williamsburg Furniture Company early tonight. Threatened to destroy. Firemen from Williamsburg and surrounding villages checked the blaze in time to save part of the brick building accompanied by the furniture company, although the lumberyard and sawmill were destroyed. Mayor J.J. Holden notified the Cincinnati Fire Department and requested aid. Acting Marshal Hall and Engine Company number 18 were sent, arriving in time to aid in stopping the fire. August 2nd, 1922. Just a lot of names on this one. Frazier, Miles, McNutt, Beck, Joel, Wilson, Vaught, Fagan, Ironton, Junes, Storer, Shell, Henderson, Wilson, Tom Michael, Ellis. They gave a flag drill at Park, June 16, drilled by Secretary J. Jenkins and Carrie Berry, number 117. C.H. McNutt, general dry goods, clothing and shoe, hat, cloaks, carpet, furnishing goods, and millinery. Williamsburg, Ohio, June 16, 1923. And actually, a penny, looks like a penny, in our standard. Put a light on this one. It's 1 cent. 1920. 1920, looks like. So you've seen when the pennies took shape, somewhere around this time. It looks like there were flowers pressed into this one. There were 2 flowers here. Looks like it's from the Housewives of Claremont County. Yeah, it is. It's a writing with a flower on the back of it. It's a writing. Paramount Courier, along right in here, you guys can read. Knights of the Pythies and Pythian Sisters will hold their memorial service Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the Presbyterian Church. Reverend T.F. Smith, and former pastor of the ME Church here, and the members of the lodge here will give the address. He is now pastor of the Lynchburg Church. Isaac Mahan visited home folks Sunday. Callers at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Ed Trost Sunday afternoon, where Mr. Charles Trost and Miss Mary Trost, Mr. Floyd Trost, and lady friends, Miss Myrtle Johnson, all of Cincinnati. You can read on here. These roses were cut June 15, 1923 by Ella Holmes, primary teacher in Williamsburg Public Schools. We have everything open over here except for the letter to the mayor. He is in Georgia, so out of respect for Mr. Weaver, we are not going to open this evening. We will allow him to open it. Here's a phone book directory. Cincinnati and Suburban Bell Telephone Company, American Telephone and Telegraph, Batavia, Bethel, Loveland, Milford, Richmond, Newtonsville, Tabasco, and Williamsburg. That's what this was for. April of 1923. This is in really good shape, to be honest with you. Have a look. 1 million rolls. Have a look. It says wallpaper. Oatmeal was 9 cents per roll. Kitchen was 1 cent per roll. And more ceilings were 5 cents per roll. Martin Rosenberger, the wallpaper king, was the advertisement on here. Vinyl, Cincinnati, Ohio. To the finder, this director, presented by the Cincinnati Suburban Bell Telephone Company, employees of the organization here. C.M. Curry, S.E. Holmes, William Johns, Lowry, Flora Vaught, Lily Bechtold, Jesse Kistner, Irene Bechtold, and Lillian Myers. Charles Curry was the postmaster in Williamsburg at the time. Let's see what the numbers look like. What were the telephone numbers then? Telephone numbers. He wants to know his great-grandpa's phone number, Brandon does. Williamsburg.
You had an exchange manager?
So Chase Curry was the county superintendent. Walter Curry was the exchange. The pay station telephone exchange on Main Street. The telephone numbers were 37, 613. So I guess if your phone number was 37, you've been here a long time.
There were 2, 3, and 4-digit numbers.
If you had a 4-digit number, you were just moved in town. Yes. He wants to see if there's a Lindsay in here. There's plenty of Irontons in here. I guess if we didn't know why the road was named, we know now. We've got plenty of Hutchisons in here. We've got a Hutchison here. Plenty of Hutchisons in here. Yep.
Williamsburg and Marathon.
How about AC? AC Jordan's phone number was 93. 93. H.F. Jordan's phone number was 1286. We lived on Williamsburg Bethel Pike, 133. A lot of interesting names. This is one that's in pretty good shape, so we'll be able to look at a lot of those. You want to try
Here's
to...
the coins that we found too. Solutions. These are just coins that we revealed on the day of the opening. This is an 1888 1 cent from Canada, 1888 Canadian coin. This is a United States, this is a wheat. You can remember the wheat pennies, 1898. Also a wheat penny from 1909, I believe what it says. This is a half penny, 1862 half penny. This is a big tool. I believe this is a British coin, 1862 half penny. And then in 1908, silver. It also has a big V on United States. Yeah.
You want to try to get into that? Get down with it. Go that box. Another fragile package here that we weren't sure if we could get over or not. Things of interest in connection with the old papers and things of 1923. So on this is it looks like a brochure for dresses for ladies, and different kinds of dresses. They're numbered 3265 Mrs. Slip-on Dress. We got a 3243 Mrs. Slip-on Dress, and what they're made of as far as yards and sizes, and the price is 45 cents. 45 cents for the dresses, and these look like really nice dresses. They weren't messing around here. 32.50 dresses, 14 to 20, 45 cents. So all dresses look to be 45 cents in this brochure.
This is the classmate, which we'll leave out, April 14, 1923, the Methodist Sunday School paper, the classmate, paper for young people. Here's the paper from February 22nd, 1922. Mrs. Earl Davis, daughter of Millard Fillmore and LMA Sharp McNutt, who we heard from in that letter. This is the paper, top left, fire destroys landmark at Williamsburg. It is the article about the fire of the old building. Very cool. It goes down to the next column. So we'll try to get this unfolded and look at it. March 1st, 1922, the members of the school board are certainly to be praised for their great interest and painstaking labors for so speedily making ready for the housing of our school children after the fire. The armory has been partitioned off for the entire high school and one of the grades taught by Miss Louise Dean. The other grades will be taken to the building on Lower Main Street, formerly occupied by Madary and Sons. It goes on to talk about who's donating tables and that they're resumed regular school on March 6th. So they definitely pivoted quickly from February 20th to March 6th to continue school for the students of Williamsburg. There's just some other old articles here that we'll continue to look for. We'll set out here.
So I don't know if Harmony Hill has this picture, but this is a personal picture of the side of the school after it burned down. This is a good one here. I've never seen this one before, but this is up close and personal with Ralph Fear's little girl is in the picture, and it's postmarked by the Fear Printing Works, Waynesburg, Ohio. So they made this picture, and this is that building, which I know you have a picture of. This is looks like to me sitting at the BP side where the water tower used to be, taking a picture. Very interesting.
Angie's related to yours.
Never seen that picture.
Oh, and here's a newspaper article saying that a couple boys pulled down a portion of the old burnt wall and found the box of its content of Dr. E.C. Sharp. The contents were a Claremont Courier of 1859, 2 Cincinnati Daily commercials, which, like I said, you can read Cincinnati and PA, so that's one of these. A Sunday school paper, a 2x2-inch child's Bible that we have on this table, a large copper penny of 1846. So this is the newspaper article from March 1st, 1922, confirming that they found the cornerstone from the 1859 building, and it's amazing that we have stuff from it. This is the Knights of Pythias, which I wish I could speak as to what they are, but they actually left the medal insignia.
They're a fraternity just like us. They're almost defunct now. They have like less than 5,000 members worldwide.
It used to be pretty common in all these towns.
Bethel just closed down like 15 or 20 years ago.
Okay.
They were like, there's 1 or 2 left in Ohio, that's it.
So they actually have this engraved, Williamsburg, June 16, 1923, K of P Lodge number 585. So they specifically wanted this piece in the context. Present officers, June 16, 1923.